What is happening, Cowboys Nation, and welcome. And what a hell of a week it's been. We all started off a very Merry Christmas with a beatdown of the Eagles, and you couldn't ask Santa for
hmm
more.
Oh, yeah. It was literally like within 30 minutes of the game being over, I got a text from my mom saying, Christmas is complete. Like, couldn't have asked for anything more. Just always love. I know you can say Hurts wasn't there and stuff like that. They had injuries. We had injuries.
Whatever.
Whatever. If you beat a division rival, you're going to be happy, and I was happy. Absolutely.
Exactly. And, thanks you guys for joining us. And we've got a really an amazing guest this show. And it's taken us a little while to figure out that we should have asked him, but you know what? He's here, the one and only Kelly, K-9. Welcome, Kelly.
How's it going, guys?
Going great, man. Going great.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Yep.
Rolling.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That was a good Christmas present on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Asked Santa for it, and he came through. So
absolutely. So let's get into that game just a little bit and talk about what we liked most about that game, and players that stood out, and just how we think that helped us moving forward. Kelly, what about you? What was your initial thoughts on the game after the game?
Well, I mean, it was kind of one of those things where you knew the defense was kind of already in some, having the defensive play has gone down. So you're wondering if the offense was going to be able to carry the load. And, and I thought they did a really good job of that. Dak bouncing back after that pick. It was nice because, you always hear, and that's the one thing that I hear about Dak Prescott. Everybody always talks about, well, can Dak carry this team? Can he be the guy that can carry? Well, he carried the shit out of that team Saturday night. He did.
Oh, yeah, he
I
did.
mean, he did everything you can ask a QB to do. I mean, the offensive line wasn't holding up for him. He was getting sacked. He was getting hit when he was throwing the ball. I mean, carried the team and put up 40 points. It's funny. That's still not going to be enough for some people, but I thought it was one of those things where, Dak Prescott it was a statement game, is what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I heard before that 3rd and 30 play that Dak turned around and looked at T.Y. Hilton and said, "Can you outrun this ball?" And T.Y. looked at him and said, "I can do it." And they
There you
let
go.
it fly.
I love it.
So,
Yeah.
My big question, Cam, was coming in when we signed Ty, and I know a lot of people liked it. I was a little bit more skeptical than most because I wanted to see, does he still have that speed? Is he the same player that he was before? Because I know he had worse quarterback play, but his distance and throws and yards per catch had gone down drastically the last couple of years he was with the Colts, and he proved like, hey, I could still run by these bums. Like, just throw it up, and I'm gonna go get it. So,
right.
outstanding play. Great throw by Dak, absolutely on the dot, and that was great. Cam, who is your one guy, offense or defense, that really stood out for you in that game?
Well, Stevie J and I do our star up on there, and I did say T.Y. Hilton on the offensive side, but to me, the more important person that we thought we were going to get killed. We thought there was going to be a bloodbath in a certain position on that field, and that's CB2. And I've got to give a shout out to Nashawn Wright. I mean, it could have been so much worse. And, he pretty much he held his own on that. And so I'm shouting out to Nashawn for holding that corner down as well as he could. He had some short ones that they did get on him, but for the most
He didn't
part,
give up any big things. Yeah.
no. So shout out to him because I was one of his biggest doubters completely. Yeah. And so he came through.
What about you, Kelly?
I mean, other than I thought it was. I thought, I'm gonna have to piggyback off Cam. I thought it was the young DBs. I even thought Bland had a good game too.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Bland and Nashawn, right? I thought both of them played really well because I was very worried about that game. And even though that, I think it's gonna be good for those guys to kind of take a little bit of lumps because obviously, there is going to be a little bit of learning curve, but let's get that out of the way now. And then when the postseason rolls around, because I mean, you're seeing I feel like anyway, that I saw some improvement from week to week already, just between those two guys. So it's encouraging for a spot that had a lot of people worried. So yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. And an obvious answer is Dak. We talked about him a little earlier. He just balled out. He was clearly and easily the best player on the field. But I'm going to go and I'm going to say Curse. Now, I know Curse gave some yards up to Goddard. Just Goddard. I mean, when you have a player like Goddard, it's going to happen. Like, he's a good player. But Curse got a pick in the beginning of the game that got us right back in it. And then he had that big fumble recovery. He was right on the ball. He should have scored, but Minshew got his shoelaces. But still, like, 2 huge turnovers, really, when we needed them, when the Eagles were starting to roll. He turned the game around twice for us. So big shout out to Curse, because I thought he played outstanding in the game. So what kind of momentum does a win like this, do you think a win like this against the division rival, the number 1 seed, the best record in the NFL, what kind of momentum do you think this will give the Cowboys moving forward?
Go ahead, Cal.
Okay.
Okay, I can go.
Okay, sorry.
Absolutely. A win like this is huge. And because this is your biggest opponent, not only in our division, but like in the NFL right now. This was the team that you had to beat down, and you won. And you carry this and you keep this going all the way into the playoffs. You do not, I don't want to really let up on the gas. Like tonight, we go in full head of steam. Don't let up until there's a score that we can let off the gas and coast the rest of the way. So we just continue to use this.
Absolutely. Kelly?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a momentum builder. Anytime that you can beat not only a divisional team like that late in the season, but a team like the Philadelphia Eagles that has had a defense that's been as great as they have been all year. I saw the deal about that was the first game that they gave over 300 yards passing. And it's to a quarterback in Dak that had been kind of struggling, or at least perceived the notion that he struggled as of lately with some turnovers and stuff like that. And Dak went out there and just shredded that defense. So I think that, moving forward, I think it's a building block for the offense. The play to T.Y. Hilton, I think is, it was only one play. It was only one completion, but I think that's going to give, defensive coordinators like, what? We may not be able to play the Cowboys the way that people have been playing them this season, because now they've got a guy that can go and get them over to the top, which we've been lacking that on this offense. So I definitely think that game can be used as a building block. What I'm looking for tonight is for them to continue that, though, and continue that pace to where, there's you can do whatever you want. You can win what we can win if running it, you can win passing it. Whatever way that the defense wants to play us, we'll just, we'll take it all out and throw the kitchen sink at them and beat teams down. Because I think when you can win in multiple types of ways, that just makes you a team that's a lot harder to plan for. As a defensive coordinator.
Absolutely, and I think that's what it did. Is a lot of defense weren't scared of our deep ball. Because we didn't have that receiver. Gallup used to be that receiver. He's not fully back yet to be able to have that long speed to take defenses over the top. So adding that guy like Hilton, he has given us, and boom, first game, huge play, 3rd and 30. He showed, hey, I can do this. Now defense is going to have to be a little bit more wary of that, because not only did he beat the cornerback, but he beat the safety over the top. So that's outstanding. Dak, speaking of Dak, just look, the interceptions are an issue. He needs to clean up those interceptions. But I was telling some people I was watching the game with is that outside of like 1 to 2 throws a game, the guy is outstanding. It's just that 1 to 2 throws, like he's been giving up, turning the ball over a little bit. It's frustrating. But
Patrick Mahomes had 3 interceptions the week before, though. I mean, when you're playing aggressive ball like that, some of that's going to happen.
Yeah, they have the same amount of interceptions. Yeah. Yes, Patrick has played more games, but still, like, just cleaned it up. Just put the pedal to the metal. And I want them to put their foot on the Titans' throat tonight. Just like, so they're not like, hey, I don't want them to play down to the competition tonight. I don't want them to see that, hey, we got all of these people they got all these people that are out, and we can rest and we don't have to play as hard. No, I want them to play hard. And I want them to get a big lead. So, hey, we get a 4th quarter lead and we can sit our guys out.
One thing I wanted to point out about T.Y. Hilton is not only was that, to me, that swung the momentum of the game on that 3rd and 30, But, on a other crucial third down, he pulled the DPI out on, and being a veteran like that, they've got to attest for that, because you don't know if CD and Gallup really know some of those tricks to, kind of force that player to do, have DPI on you. And so that's another thing. I love it. You know what? I've been a fan since we signed him of it, because it was, all reward, no risk. But damn, I just see how this is that missing piece in the wide receiver room that we really were looking for. We just had to wait until December to find it, in true Cowboys fashion.
Right. So yeah, it's a great win. I think we all agree with that, and we can build on that from there, and hopefully we'll get into that a little bit onto the next game. This next segment, Cam, are we doing it? Are we bringing him on?
Let's do it. It's been a while. And we might need to confess about that it's been a while, but let's do this.
It's time for some midday mass, where we have our confessions on what we've done wrong and things we need to improve on and apologize for and confess. And today, I believe we have a Mr. Swaggy J. Do you have anything you need to confess today?
Well, I do have something to confess. I understand that my son Steven has been a lot of at the center of some frustration amongst Cowboys fans. And I feel that as a father to Steven, I might have failed him in a couple of ways, and might be responsible for him and some of his penny pinching. So as a young child, Steven used to pick up pennies off the ground, find a penny, pick it up type thing there. And he had this little piggy bank, and he was going to save up to buy himself this real nice beach cruiser. And one day he was fooling around in my man cave area, and he broke one of my fine whiskey glasses. Now, that whiskey glass was probably a couple $100 worth of fine crystal. And I told Steven he was going to have to pay for that. Nice things, they cost money, right? And he said, well, Dad, don't they offer a cheaper version of that glass? And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, you can get that. He said, well, does it work the same? I said, well, it does, but it's not of the same high quality. And he said, well, Dad, if it was up to me, I'd buy the cheaper glass every time. And that memory is stuck in my head all these years. And now it makes sense about Steven not wanting to spend money. I took all of his money out of his piggy bank to replace the whiskey glass, and he was never quite the same since that moment. So my confession is, I think I created a monster with my penny pinching son.
Touching. Well, Swaggy J, I just would like you to know that you are forgiven. You are forgiven. Cowboys Nation is going to forgive you, as long as hopefully you correct your mistake and pass the team to Charlotte.
That is the penance.
that is your penance.
I can handle that kind of penance. I can handle that.
And that, everybody, is the confession today for Midday Mass. We appreciate Swaggy J coming on to confess what was weighing on his heart and soul for all of Cowboys Nation. So appreciate that, Swaggy J.
Absolutely.
So let's get into this injury report, because this thing is wild.
It's insane.
I mean, it is a book. It is a book for the Titans. And let's go to the Cowboys first. Before we get into just get the Cowboys out of the way. It looks like Pollard is inactive. He's not going to play.
Which I'm fine with. Rest him, and like you made the great point.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. I was just going to say, like, I like that he's sitting, rest him, get him healthy and everything like that. But also, look at Pollard is 12 yards away from 1,000 yards. Zeke is 171 yards away. So Let Pollard rest a game. Bring him back next week to get those 12 yards. You get 1,000 yards out of him. If Zeke has a big game, then next week he can finish it off, and you have 2,000-yard rushers on your roster, which I haven't looked. I don't know when the last time that happened was, but it can't be that often that a team has 2,000-yard rushers. And both of them have a shot at 10 touchdowns. Now Pollard, I believe he has 8. So he might not be able to get it unless he gets 2 next week. But if you had 2,000-yard rushers and two running backs with 10 touchdowns, that's pretty special. Well, I think Pollard has it with if you can combine his passing touchdowns, catching touchdowns, then you have it. But that's pretty impressive to me.
Right. Okay, and so basically for our injury report, the 2 players that we absolutely know are not playing is LVE and Pollard at this point. Otherwise,
it's healthy.
We're going in there. So now, are we ready for the Titans? The Titans are going to be missing Tannehill, and now we're hearing Malik Willis on top of it. So
Josh Dobbs
bring on Dobbs, who's okay. He's not an impressive.
he was decent at
resume, but at Tennessee, was that in 2017? Come on, he's played like a handful of games. I mean,
not great.
I almost have as many NFL snaps as him. So when he was with the Steelers, Derrick Henry out, Hillard, Lewin, Jones, Davis, and NFP. So basically their line is going to be out, their offensive line. Simmons being out is huge, is gigantic.
It's huge because they're one of the better sack teams in the NFL. I think they're like 5th in the league in sacks, but their 2 biggest guys who get sacks are Bud Dupree and Jeffrey Simmons. Both of them are out.
Right. Autry, another defensive lineman. Landry, Dupree, Cunningham, Long, Fulton, Hooker, and I haven't even touched the list of their IR. This team has had 82 players this season with 27 different starters.
Yeah, they've had the injury bug.
Oh, like awful. It's been banged up before the season began. Whew. Rabel's earning his money, I guess, to actually be in a playoff hunt,
right?
And
Seriously.
facing that kind of situation. Honestly.
They've lost a couple in a row, like 4 or 5 in a row now.
Five, gonna be 6.
So they're struggling. They're obviously. It sounds like they're punting this game. To be honest with you, saying, "Hey, we're just getting everybody as healthy as they can be for the winner-take-all game next week versus the Jaguars." And I'm serious. I want to ask you how you guys feel. Does that worry you that these guys are going to come out and the Cowboys are going to come out flat, thinking, "Oh, it's just their backups. They're resting they're not taking this game seriously," and they're going to come out flat. And then the Titans players are going to be like, "Hey, this is our chance to shine. This is our chance to maybe get on another team next year," and they're going to just play with all their heart and soul to try to win it, to try to show off and win this game. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys have any worry about that? Kelly?
Me, not personally, but then again, you never know what Cowboys team's going to show up. That's the one thing that has plagued them this year, in my opinion, has been consistency.
Yep.
And I think that's why a lot of people haven't really bought in on them. Obviously, I'm one of those people that thinks that they have the shot, but obviously I see things through blue colored sunglasses there. So, there's a lot of the national media and people like that don't want to buy in, and they're hesitant because of the inconsistency. So what I'd love to see is the Cowboys come in and blow the doors off them.
Yeah.
Tonight, you know what I mean? Because, put a couple weeks back to back, over, 2 playoff teams, and beat them soundly, is what I would like to see them do, or at least have a good performance, and not struggle with a team that just seems like, they're pulling people off the street to fill positions. You want to come out and you want to win this game tonight. It's a short week. I want to see the Cowboys come out and dominate. So, but that's the thing. What Cowboys team's going to show up tonight? It could happen. So you never know.
Yeah, Cam.
I don't think this is a trap game. I don't think they're going to take it lightly. They know that we're in that home stretch, and they know that there is an outside chance that we can take number 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs. And we've been slapped in the face twice. We were slapped in the face in Jacksonville, and we were slapped in the face in Green Bay. And I just honestly don't think I want to believe that this team and this coaching staff is smarter, that they're not going to just walk in there and be like, oh, this is a scrimmage game or something like that. So nope, we're going to take that momentum straight into Washington and do what we need there. And
I feel you, and I agree. But Kelly, you make a great point. The consistency, you don't know. Sometimes you're going to come out, and we struggled against Houston. We had a last-minute touchdown to save that game in Houston. We should have blown Houston out of the water, but then we come out and we take it to the Colts, or blow the Vikings 40-3 out of the water. Give me some consistency. Show me that you guys are for real. And I think they will, and I really hope that they're going to be dominant today, and they're just going to put their foot on the Titans' neck. In my opinion, I want to crush their hopes, and affect their game next week. Like, that's how badly I want to win this game. It's not hate on the Titans; it's just I want to show that the Cowboys are for real. Because I said this to a buddy of mine earlier, because he asked me like, "Hey, what is your opinion on the Cowboys? How do you feel about them moving forward?" And I said, I honestly believe that the Cowboys can beat any team in the NFL. But I honestly believe that they can also be bounced out in the first round, wild card round. Depends on what team shows up.
Yeah.
Now, and that's not even an any given Sunday thing. That's just what Cowboys team is going to show up. Is it going to be the Cowboys that blew out the Vikings 40-3, or is it going to be the Cowboys that blew a lead to the Green Bay Packers or the Jaguars, or barely beat the Houston Texans? Like, that's what worries me.
Yeah.
No, I think you're completely right. And yeah, the inconsistency of what it is, who's showing up and what's going on. One day we've got the team that just rolled over the Vikings.
Yeah, honestly, like, that was the Cowboys at their absolute best. Is that team that rolled over. Now, I get it. We're missing some players that were on that team. We lost Jay Lou. We lost Anthony Brown. Those are big. I mean, they're not star players, but you're taking a hit with depth, and you're getting players who obviously aren't as good because they weren't in that position starting in the first place. So I think we might have upgraded with Bland, though, to be completely honest with you. That might have been a blessing in disguise, but there is a drop down with the outside cornerback. And as good as Nashawn Wright played, and I give him credit, and he played good. He played well against the really good wide receivers. I know we love to hate Anthony Brown, but Anthony Brown, would give up that one big pass a game, but other than that, he was pretty solid.
Right.
And he helped this team a lot.
Bringing up Bland real quick, what do you do next season with J. Lou and him in that same?
Man, you got to make a decision between J. Lou and Brown, because I think Brown is a free agent as well, isn't he? Or does he have one more
J.
year?
Lou's signed. They're both signed, aren't they?
Maybe, but they're both signed to nothing. Basically,
yeah.
You can get rid of either one of them.
Yeah, you can get rid of them, but
contract.
Do you want to face that depth problem again, or you hold
Well, you got to
on
make that decision. Who would you rather have?
Right.
Would you rather have J. Lou, or would you rather have Brown? Personally, I'm taking Brown. And Bland can play in the slot. Bland has shown that he can play inside and outside, and that's what I love. So no matter who you got and who you pick, I might take Brown, keep Brown, and move Brown into the slot and move Bland outside, because I love Brown as a slot cornerback. But that is an interesting question that we'll have to look into in the offseason, obviously. So let's get our crystal balls out. And look at these playoffs. Look to the playoffs. And I know it's a couple weeks away, but we've already secured our spot. It's the most likely position would be the 5 seed. And facing the winner of the NFC South, either the Saints, Panthers, or the Bucks. Any of those 3 can win it, and that will be our opponent. Or there is possibilities we can slip into the 2 seed or the 1 seed. What are you guys' thoughts? Where do you think we wind up? And what are your guys' thoughts on how we stack up against these teams? Cam.
I honestly think that we are going to. I think we're getting the 5th seed. That's a lot to happen. You've got to have the Saints step up, and then you've got to have the Giants step up for the Eagles to lose that spot, and then even at that, then Vikings go to number 1. We go to number 2.
No, it would be the 49ers.
Oh, it would be the Niners. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
And we would go to number 2. The 49ers would go to number 1.
Okay. I honestly think we're going to end up 5th seed. I'm not afraid of any of the 3 teams that we could face in that situation as the 5th seed. They're in the AFC South or in the NFC South. I don't want it any way, crazy shape or form that we have to see the Niners in round 1. I don't want to do it. And I understand people are like, oh, you got to beat the best to be the best. Not in round 1. I absolutely don't want to see it. I don't want it to happen.
I don't think I don't think it's mathematically possible for us to see the Niners in round 1. We can see them in round 2, but in round 1, no. I don't think it's because I think we are locked into the 5 seed out of all the wild card. If we end up being a wild card team and don't win the division, I think we're locked into that 5 seed.
Good. I'm good with that. And because you know what? Okay. I'm not petty all the time, but I'm going to be a little petty right now. I want that Tom Brady win. I want Tom Brady to go down. I want it to just I want destruction in Tampa Bay. So
yeah. What do you think, Kelly?
Yeah, I agree. 5 seed. I don't really see the Eagles imploding and losing the next 2. I think that'd be kind of a tall task or a big ask for that to happen. So I think it's the 5 seed. As far as like who we would play in the first round, no, I don't really have very many worries over that. I do still have I do have a little bit of PTSD about playing Tom Brady though. Do I think we could beat the Bucs? Yes, but I mean, when you get in the playoffs, what's that saying? All you need is a shot. And I mean, as much as I hate the guy, man, every time he's counted out, he messes around and does something that you know what I mean. And then so I would hate to see that. But I mean, Tom Brady is he still undefeated against the Cowboys? Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would like to see that streak end. I would love to be able to do that in the playoffs and be like, hey, look, we never beat him in the regular season, but we did beat him in the playoffs. At least have that. But yeah, I mean, out of all the teams really that we would face up with in the playoffs along the way, no matter who it would be, when I just look at the pool of teams in there, again, and this could be PTSD from last year as well. The Niners just play such a physical brand of football. I think they got the best coach in the NFL, in my personal opinion. I just love their organization from top to bottom is just something that I admire and that I'm envious of in terms of what we don't seem to have. Because I mean, the fact that they plugged in Purdy and are just rolling. I mean, it's right. Like they lost Lance, then they lost Jimmy G. Now they got Purdy, and it's just like that team's as physical as it comes. You know what you're going to get with them every Sunday. So, I mean, that's really the only team out of the NFC playoff race that scares me. So I'll be like, Cam, I hope somebody else takes them out before we get to them. Because I just don't think it's a great matchup for us, but I guess we'll see.
They're the scary team in the NFC, to be honest with you. It's a matchup issue. I got a buddy who's a Packers fan, and he's like hoping to make the playoffs because they can still squeak in. But if they do squeak in, they're almost guaranteed to play the 49ers first round. So he's like, do I want to get in just to lose in the first round? Like right. He knows,
Yeah.
But I agree with you guys with the Cowboys and the 5th seed. I think that's the most likely because the Eagles obviously have to lose out. I can see there being a way that they lose to the Saints just because the Saints are playing for their playoff lives. You don't know how if Hurts is going to play, if he does play, how he's going to perform. So that can happen. But the problem is that you run into is then they would have to lose to the Giants the next week. And the Giants, if the Giants win this week against the Colts, which is very likely in my opinion, then the Giants lock up their playoff spot. And they have nothing to play for week 18. So it's like, right. What are the chances? So it's not very high. It's mathematically possible, not very high. But I'm with Cam. I don't care if we get that 5th seed. I think we're beating any of the NFC South teams. The Bucks are 7-8 right now, and they've had the 26th easiest schedule. Like their schedule's been light, and they're not great. So
And some
we'll
of the
have to
irony
see.
of it is that the Eagles own the Saints draft pick in the first round.
And that's also why I want the Saints to beat them even more,
Right.
because it hurts their draft pick. And I would
Right.
love for the Saints to like make the playoffs. If I'm choosing, I would laugh, because the Eagles were so confident they were getting a top 10 pick because the Saints were so bad to start the year. And if the Saints make the playoffs, it jumps to like 24. So that would
And
be amazing.
Carolina is such a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yep.
I mean, you want to talk about you don't know what team's showing up. That
Yeah.
team, you don't know.
Well, know this, that if the Panthers beat the Bucks tomorrow on Sunday, the Bucks are eliminated from the playoffs. So
Okay.
And then it comes down to Saints and Carolina, whatever they do the next week.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
I believe that's how it is. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it is.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this game, back into the Titans game. Let's give a bold prediction to kind of see any kind of bold prediction, offense, defense, any crazy thing that you think is going to happen in this game. Cam, what do you got?
Bold prediction. After seeing this offensive line being what it is or not is for the Titans, Tank is going to go off. This is going to be a Tank game as long as he is still in it. And I'm giving the man 3 sacks.
Ooh, I love it.
I mean, how are you going to stop Tank? Let's be real.
Yeah, I love it.
We're going.
All right, Kelly, you got a bold prediction for us?
Yeah, it won't be exactly off camera. I'm kind of piggybacking off the idea though, but I'm thinking bold because of the fact that we haven't seen much of a pass rush from this Dallas Cowboys defense the last couple of weeks. So I'm gonna say this defense goes out tonight, and I'm gonna say it's a 6-sack game for the defense, and they're just all over the Titans tonight. So I think the pass rush comes out and does their job, and we see that pass rush get to clicking again.
Well, you know what it is, Kelly, is that our pass rushes, the pressures have been there, but teams have been throwing the ball so quickly we haven't been able to get sacks in a couple games, not that many. And it all stems back to Cam predicting like 3 weeks in a row that we would get 9 sacks, and it's been dead.
Nothing.
Then. Yeah.
It was my fault.
She dried up that well for us.
It was my fault.
No, but my bold prediction is going to be Pollard is out. I am predicting a 150-yard, 2-touchdown performance from Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to be right there on that 1,000-yard mark, and him and Pollard will complete it next week in Week 18. They will both get 1,000 yards, but give me that 150 yards and 2 TDs from Zeke this week. I think they're going to rely on him, and they're going to grind it out. And yeah, Zeke's going to ball out. That's my bold prediction.
I like it.
Okay. Before we get into the score prediction, we got a little bit of time. Let's pick our players of the game. I know we kind of said some stuff with the bold prediction, but you don't have to go with the same person. Let's offense, defense, player of the game. Who you got, Cam?
Well, I'm gonna do one for each side. How about that?
There you go. There we go. We can do that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay with Tank.
Tank.
I
Okay.
feel like he's due, that this is the perfect opportunity. And, we see week in and week out what a leader he is on this team, and he's hungry, and this is just a big old ripe snack in front of him. So I'm taking Tank on that side. Mine on the other side is going to be Mr. T.Y. Hilton.
There you go.
And I think he's getting 2 touchdowns.
2 tutties for T.Y. I like it.
Yep. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, this
Kelly.
secondary is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Right now it's so beat up. And he's with that speed and him being fresh-bodied like he is, because he hasn't been banged up for weeks prior to this. Yeah, it's T.Y. time. We're going to see the ghost. Or not see the ghost.
What do you got, Kelly?
For the offensive side of the ball, I feel like this one is kind of a little bit too easy, but I'm gonna say Dak Prescott. I'm gonna say he's gonna have another outstanding game. Somewhere in the realm of 350 to 400 yards passing, 3 TDs. I see him having another really good game. I think there's just a really good confidence boost for him last week to have the kind of game he had after that interception. After that interception, he just looked locked in, and I feel like that's going to be the guy we're going to see tonight. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go with number 7. I'm going to say Trayvon Diggs gets a pick 6, takes one to the house. So I'm going to go with Diggs. I'm going to say he's going to have a game locking everybody down. That anybody has to cover. Not sure who he's going to be covering tonight from the Titans with all these injuries and stuff. But is it Burks? Okay,
I think Burks is playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Trayvon. For me, it's Diggs. Yeah, he's gonna get a pick 6 tonight. We haven't seen a pick 6 by Diggs for a while, so he's due.
Yeah, no, I like that one. I do. For me, offense, I'm going to say it's going to be Zeke. I already predicted 150 yards, 2 TDs. I don't know how you beat that by much. Defense, I'm going to go with Mr. Micah Parsons, and that might be a cop out, but he hasn't had the sack numbers that he's had earlier in the season. They're chipping him, they're double teaming him. Quarterback's getting the ball off fast, but he's still getting pressures. He's still up there, still so close every time. I think Parsons is going to get 2 or 3 sacks this game. The Titans' offensive line is beat up. They're on the 3rd string quarterback. I think there's going to be hesitation on him to what he's seeing, trying to get the ball out, trying to make a play. So give me Parsons with 3 sacks today and a forced fumble. One of them is going to be a forced fumble.
Wow. Going out there.
I think Parsons is going to try to boost his resume for that defensive player of the year, because if you've seen the odds, Bosa has had a really good last 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, he has had a great season, but the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been playing really, really well, and he's kind of moved in front of Parsons for the defensive player of the year. I think Parsons, he has to finish strong if he wants it and not finish second again this year. I'm going to go Parsons with a big game, try to get back in that race. So that's where I'm going. All right, let's go to our score predictions for the game. This should be very fun. I'm going to really enjoy hearing these scores. Kelly, how about you go first? Give us your score prediction.
I'm going to go Cowboys 38, Titans 10.
38-10. I like it. Cam, what do you got?
I'm pretty close to that, but yeah, it's 40 burger time, kids. It's 41.
No, Cam.
Yes, I got to on this one. I know I shouldn't. I know I should be at 39.
Yes. Every time she predicts 40, we don't hit it.
Okay, 39.
39 okay.
and a half. Okay, so I was on the show with Stevie J earlier this week. I was at giving them 16 points, but even with Willis not being in now, and no Derrick Henry, they're getting 9, and that's going to be when we've pulled our starters and they're just getting a couple field goals. So yeah, well, I'll go 39-9. Just
there we go.
Well, the same restrictions do not apply to me that apply to Cam. I am going 45 to 10. And I think it's Cooper Rush is probably in by the late 3rd quarter. Malik Davis is in there. Throw a touchdown. I mean, give a touchdown to Malik Davis as a rushing touchdown. I really don't see how they can compete with us. Now, I've said that about the Texans. I get that. But with how many players they have out. And this is funny because we were so worried about this game and the build up to like 5 weeks ago. But now a little bit more comfortable. I'm going 45-10. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be great. And I love it.
50 burger.
50 burger. Let's go.
Hey, I haven't tried that.
Oh, you have not tried a 50 burger. Do you want to change your score?
Yes, I would.
All right, let's go.
I would like to change my score to 52-9.
52-9. I would love that.
That'd be impressive.
Right.
Okay, so before we get out of here, We got a little bit more time. I want to ask you guys a question. I've seen it in the chat a little bit, people saying some things. If we win, and then on Sunday, the Eagles beat the Saints, there's no more chance to get the 1 seed or the 2 seed. We are locked into the 5 seed 100%. Week 18 against the Commanders. The Commanders are fighting for their playoff lives. They have to win out because if the Packers win out, the Commanders are not in the playoffs. They'll lose. They'll be out. So the Commanders are fighting for their playoff lives. They might be coming out playing hard and hitting and being scrappy. Would you rest your starters because you're locked into that 5 seed no matter what? Or would you play your starters and say, hey, let's eliminate the Commanders. Let's kick the Commanders out of the playoffs and not let them in. What are your thoughts, Kelly?
Oh, man, as much as I would love to ruin the Commanders, ruin their playoff hopes, because anytime we can eliminate an NFC East team, I'm taking joy in that. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do it at the expense of anybody that's banged up, anybody that's fringe. I mean, if you've got a guy that's, that's hurting a little bit, even if it's like Pollard, I wouldn't be against resting Pollard until the postseason. Let him get healthy, 100%. So it just depends on the guys and the feeling of the health of your roster, because I don't think you play them at the detriment to them, because really it's of no benefit to you. And I mean, an extra week of rest, having a bye week. I mean, think about it. The number 1 seed, they all play for the bye week. That's what they want. They want the bye week. So if you've essentially locked your playoff spot in, and you basically earned yourself the right to give yourself a bye week if you choose to. So, in my opinion, I'd probably be like, all right, anybody that's injured here, anybody who feels like they could need this week of rest, I'm going to give that to you guys. We're going to let some young guys step up, play, see what some of these guys can do. But if the starters want to play, and they want to eliminate Washington, well, go for it. As long as you guys are healthy to put yourselves out there, go for it. It's one of those things where injuries can happen any given Sunday. So you can't play thinking about what if. But yeah, I mean, I'm resting guys if they need it.
Yeah, I understand. Cam?
So this is a double-edged sword for me, because my first thought is champions don't take a day off. And we've seen what happens when we either have a bye week or we, coasted that last week, and then we come out and we're flat and we're not on it. Mm-hmm. The other side of me does want Washington to make it in, because that'll give them a worse draft pick. And we're already seeing how strong this division is across the board. Plus, it'd be pretty cool if would that be the first time ever that all 4 teams in a division make the playoffs?
It would be the first time ever, yes.
So,
because we've only had the extra 7th team for so many years, so it's only. Right. But it would be the first time ever. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
So, I mean, double-edged sword. I mean, if you have someone really super banged up, like if it is something like Pollard, sit Pollard, maybe do something more like we're doing this week. If LVE needs that extra week, then we give that to him. Mm-hmm. Go in and play him, and at least play our starters through the half to keep that keep them going. But yeah, the strong part in me is champions do not take a day off.
Yeah. For me, I'm with you. Play at least a half or 3 quarters. Get your guys out of there. Don't let them play the 4th quarter. There's no reason for Dak to be out there in the 4th quarter. But if you're healthy, go out there and play. Pollard, I will say one thing about Pollard. I'm cool with sitting Pollard, letting him rest up, but I'm getting him in, and I'm getting him a couple carries because I'm getting him at 12 yards to get to 1,000. That's important. Right. Like I'm bringing him in just to get him to his 12,000. So get him to 1,000. It'll be the first time he's had 1,000 yards in a season. I think he deserves that. So I would let him play long enough to get that. But yeah, I'm playing my guys just because I don't want that rust, because it's already we already got a mini bye. So we already have a long, because we play on Thursday. Yeah, so it's already true. A mini bye. Then you take another week off, and man, I don't like that. So I'm playing them at least a half. So, and then see how they go. But yeah, I will agree. Like, hey, if you're banged up like LVE, like maybe you don't need to come back this week. Maybe you should rest your shoulder another week. Hey, Pollard, let's get you your carries and then get you out of the game. So anybody who has like that kind of injuries, maybe rest Parsons. Honestly, like I know he's going for his defensive play of the year. I know that he does not like to sit out at all. Like he's a warrior, he's a lion, but just give him the break because you saw how tired that guy was at the end of the game against the Eagles. He was dog tired.
So we do have a little something. I guess this came out right before the show started. We elevated Brock Hoffman, which we've been doing weekly, but we did elevate Quandre Olison, our other running back. So we do have a third running back that's going to be in because when we started the show, we only thought it was Malik Davis and Zeke. So we do have both of them.
Yeah. No, that just confirms, Pollard's not going to play. But yeah, I think we finish this game off like we said. We come out and we dominate. We keep our foot on their necks, and then we'll see what happens. If Sunday comes around and the Eagles lose, okay, now we got something to play for still. Let's go. But if the Eagles win, we adjust and we look at the situation going forward, because I don't want anybody, especially Dak or something like that, to get hurt in an unnecessary game. But I also want them to be fresh and ready to go for the playoffs. So it is that kind of dilemma where I don't want him going to Cabo either. So any parting thoughts that you guys have about the game tonight or the Cowboys in the season moving forward? Either one of you.
Go ahead, Cal.
Not really. Just want to see the team show up, play a clean game. No penalties or, as few penalties as possible, which they've been doing a good job of that lately. I will say the penalties have gone down from what we've seen in the beginning of the year. So that's been better. But yeah, just have them play a clean game, no injuries, get out, get in, get the win and get out.
Yep.
We did draw, what's his name for the officiating crew?
No, Sean Hockley. Ugh.
Yes.
Need his dad back, not him.
Right. So we did draw him, but yes, we have been doing much better on penalties.
Yeah.
We just got to keep this ball rolling. We've just got to keep the momentum. They really do have something special going on if they can keep it glued together the whole time. And we need to, the biggest important things is to get through this game with a W and ignore the haters, because if we beat them, all we're going to hear is, you beat a really broken down team. Who are you guys? Blah, blah, blah. Block those guys. Don't even listen to them. But get through this with a W and no injuries. So.
I miss him so much.
I was like, they mentioned his vanilla gorilla.
I miss him so much. I just want to say, Kelly, I know you remember it. Last year for the playoff game, we organized a get together on Zoom and had everybody take a shot before the game. I want to do something like that again. Are you down to do something like that again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we're do that again. I was actually in honor of that. I was going to take a shot right now, but then I remembered that I'm at work and we're not allowed to drink on lunch breaks, and I don't want anybody of my managers or anything to see this and get me in trouble. So I was like, I probably shouldn't do that right now.
Good idea.
We'll save it. We'll put something out. We'll get together and we'll organize that again. Take some shots before the playoff game.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the end result is better than it was last year, but
yes,
we'll put that together and get. How many people did we have? We had a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, we had quite a few.
Because we had to break it. We
broke it up into 2 different sessions, so yeah, we had to take double shots.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was fun.
I was at the game. It was fun before the game.
Yeah.
But
hopefully this year we can watch that.
Yeah.
Wash that taste out of our mouth this year.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't any fun. But speaking of games, I want to tell all my Longhorn friends that I love you up until 7:59 tonight. And then I love you. I do not love you. That's right. I do not love you for the couple hours after that.
And you're gonna get a flag for doing gang signs on
right. Right. I just want them to know that the air raid is coming.
There we go.
with
There we go.
Penix, Undunze, and McMillan is on.
That will be a good game. That should be a game. But more important, Cowboys game is on tonight.
Right.
Definitely.
I've got two TVs set up in here.
Yeah, you better.
I do. No, I have a 65-inch and I brought in my 55-inch, and they're both going to be going right here.
Which game will have the audio? That's the important question.
The Cowboys. I got to hear that.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Just making
I got to hear that. Yeah. I mean, I could always throw an earbud in for the other, but yeah. But no. Yeah, Cowboys will have the audio, and I've got an hour head start with that game, so
there you go.
And then I can finish off with the other. So, but looking for dubs.
Definitely
going dubs on both. Yep, double dubs.
Okay, well, Kelly, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for coming on. Let Swaggy J know that we appreciated him making us stop as well. Any parting thoughts? Just say. Give out your handle. Let people know where they can follow you and find you.
Yeah. Yep. It's at Kelly K-9 on Twitter. And then I also do those post-game videos on TikTok, but I can't even remember my TikTok thing. It's some long ass name that I made and I can never remember it. So I don't know how to give that one out, but yep. At Kelly K-9 on Twitter. That's the main spot.
I was going to say post it to your Twitter, but I don't think you can promote the other sites anymore on Twitter.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure if you can. I'm sure if you just type in Dallas Cowboys on TikTok, you'll find me.
There you go. We appreciate everybody staying with us, rocking with us throughout this show. Always staying with and supporting Pick Six Sports. We love you guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you for interacting with us and everything like that. And hopefully we get a win tonight. And
oh, and you know what? We do have a little special gift to give everybody.
Oh, okay.
That our friends at Twisted Gorilla have given us a code for a discount for you all to use. And if you put in Midday, you are going to get a discount on one of those amazing t-shirts at Twisted Gorilla.
Yeah, so go to Twisted Gorilla, the website, and order your stuff and just put in Midday in the discount area and you will get a discount. And hope you guys enjoy that. They're great. Awesome shirts there.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to go and order my Jake and Bake shirt. So I'm excited about that one. So make sure you like and subscribe to whatever you're watching this on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell so you know when we go live. All the shows, you have this show on every Thursday. You have the Freestyle Fridays that will be tomorrow. Every Tuesdays with Due Diligence, Cam and Stevie. And then also Wednesday show, the Wednesday Pick Six Sorch. So we're putting out as much content as we can. We hope you guys enjoy it almost every day. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. We'll take your recommendations into consideration. So appreciate everybody, and we'll see you guys later. And go Cowboys!
Go Cowboys!
Go Cowboys!